Businesses don't fail. They quit. There's a big difference. I'll say it again. Businesses don't fail. They quit. Hello, amazing humans, and welcome to episode number 292. If you found this episode, chances are you've already built a business. You got some stuff. You've sold some of the things, but you're now in this moment of like, can I really keep doing this? Is this something I can go on doing without burning myself out? And is it possible to do this in a way that's a little bit cleaner, a little bit more honestly, and heaven forbid, a little bit easier? If so, this episode is the episode you've been looking for. My name is Sarah Walton, and I am an abundance expert and business coach. And I'm so happy you're here today because we're going to be talking about what's going on in the zeitgeist right now for business owners, this feeling of scarcity or being invisible, what to do about it, and a few of the ideas you might be missing that can help make a massive difference in how you navigate revenue, growth, and your own happiness in the months to come. Pop in your earphones and let's get to it. All right, so let's be honest about something, shall we? It is near impossible to be running a business as amazing as it's already been. You've done all the hard things. You came up with the idea. You've come up with offers. You've been on all the channels on social media. Insert eye roll here. Like you have done all the things. And yet there's still something missing, or you're still feeling scared. I think it's near impossible for those of us who run businesses to not understand this is the cycle, right? There's a cycle of up, there's a cycle of down, there's a cycle of this is working. Oh, it stopped working. Now that's working, but that didn't work before. This is what it is to own a business, right? And we don't want to shirk from that. We don't want to be afraid of that or hide from that truth. But that doesn't mean it's not exhausting while it's happening. We can talk about that too. And this is where shifting from strategy, right? All the things you're supposed to do, set up your funnel, do the things, have the marketing campaign, right? Breathe. So there is strategy. Do you need to have something to sell? Yes, you do, right? We talk about this in the Abundance Academy, like laying out little peanuts, right? For the squirrel to come get you. You never chase a squirrel. You chase a squirrel, the thing's going to run. Right? We don't chase customers. We don't chase abundance, but we lay out little nuts for it to come to us. Yeah. Sounds a little bit simpler, right? And I am a big proponent of not being a woo-woo thinker. I am definitely a woo-woo thinker. Disclaimer here, right? But it's not about meditating until $1 million falls on your head. I say that all the time, but I want you to really hear me. It's not about meditating and hoping $1 million falls on your head. You got to buy the lottery ticket, right? We all know that old joke where someone's like, please, God, let me win the lottery. And God's like, dude, help me out, buy a ticket. Yeah, that's sort of where we are here. Is there magic to be used inside the universe? Yeah, there is. I mean, how many times have you had something synchronous happen? You know these stories, right? I'm about to share one that just freaking rocked my world very recently. Yeah. But it's like you want to think about all the times in your life you were thinking of someone and then they called. When you were like, look, God, spirit, divine, whatever, myself, I'm at my wit's end. What do I do now? And then a door opens. You know what I'm talking about? Like this tends to happen when we're really aligned with doing something amazing on planet Earth. The world seems to open up. And if we think about just the human body, my understanding as a non-scientist is there are about 6 trillion things happening inside the human body at any given moment, right? This cell's fighting off that germ. This one's fighting off a cancer cell. This one, if you're pregnant, is growing a kidney, right? Meanwhile, and we're sitting here going, God, I wish it wasn't raining. You know, and all that's happening at the same time that you're digesting food, your brain's rewiring, you have just had enough to drink, or you're looking for minerals, your blood flow stops here, or it starts. All this is happening all the time, right? And it's in complete sync with all of the other things that are happening. The level of organization is astounding. And yet we think there are accidents when it comes to our own requests, our own design inside of our business, and our own heart's desires. I'm going to assert that's not accurate. Those are not necessarily accidents. They are synchronicities, and they are not accidental. Can it feel magical? Can it feel accidental? Abso-freaking-lutely. So here's the story I promised you that just happened recently as we move from strategy into being abundant. Okay, because that's really my job, is to help you shift your mindset from, okay, strategy. If I just do it like the bros do it, then I'll be fine, right? I made $1 million with twine on the beach. No, that's not real. Okay, we all know that's the entrepreneur porn. It's not real. So what we're talking about right now is the mindset shift in you, the business owner, that you have an offer, you have a strategy set up, and you make requests of the universe. You keep your agreement with the universe, which is, hey, you gave me these gifts, you gave me these talents, you gave me this expertise. I'm here to show up. I'm here to use those. You gave them to me. Help me out with the other parts of it, which is things like let the perfect podcast episode get to the perfect person at the perfect time. Meanwhile, that person's like, please, God, could you just send me a podcast episode? And again, I'm just using the word God. It could be spirit. It could be divine. It could be the universe. It could be Sophia, whatever it is for you that you call it, that you use to express this larger connection that we all have to something that's bigger than us. Yeah. So don't get hung up on the words. That's not what matters. The energy of it is what matters. So I have a jean fetish. I know not everybody knows this about me. I love jeans. I have a problem. I really do. Like I have to literally be like, Sarah, you have enough jeans. Like I have to tell myself this. Yes. Me, the Marie Kondo lover, me, the one who declutters everything. I have a jean problem. I love jeans. And like the perfect pair of jeans is like this constant mission I'm on, right? So a few months ago, there's a jean company who shall remain nameless that I freaking love. They have small batch jeans. They're incredible. They're made by hand. They're made in the United States. They're beautiful. And boy, did they hit the assets just right, if you know what I'm saying, right? I love these jeans. And they had just come out with a new pair. It was a little bit shorter, a little bit looser for the warmer months, right? And they were like this beautiful white cream color. I literally had them in my cart. I was about to check out and I was like, Walton, you have enough jeans. You have enough jeans. And I was like, okay, I do have enough jeans. These are really cute and they're white and the summer months and they're like all the things, all the reasons I had to add to my jean collection, right? And it was like, simmer down. And so I did a thing in that moment, right? As I teach everyone to be responsible with money, I was like, I have enough. It's okay. I really want these. And I did a thing. I said, listen, hey, universe, I would love these jeans. Let me know what you can work out. I shut my browser. I did not buy the jeans. Okay. I kid you not, 10 days later, I was visiting a friend of mine, and she gets clothing sent to her all the time by amazing clothing companies, right? She's an influencer. She's beautiful. She's incredible. She's talented. She's honest about her products. We love her, right? And she says, hey, do you like these jeans? And I'm like, she says the brand, the small batch, made in America brand. And I'm like, are you kidding? Those are some of my favorites. And she said, what size are you? And I tell her, she goes, do you want a white pair of this cut? I was like, I'm sorry, what? She had the exact pair of jeans that I had in my cart about to check out that I said to the universe, I'd love to have these. Let me know what you can do. The exact pair, my exact size, the exact color, the exact cut. And the company had actually accidentally sent her 2 pairs of the exact same jeans. And she said, I felt really bad. So I called them and I said, hey, you sent me 2. Do you want me to send one back? They said, absolutely not. Just keep it. It's a gift from us. Exact pair of jeans. Accident, synchronicity, fate, woo-woo. I don't care what you call it. I think it's freaking awesome. Right? I love these stories. And if you actually take a minute to sit down and think about your life, you think about the massive abundance in which you live. And I know it's tough right now, right? I know there's a lot going on right now where it can feel crunchy and it feels like we're not quite there. And we feel like everything's being weird. And like, where's the demand? And am I privileged if I offer this thing right now? Oh my God, all of that is so real. I so get it. I really do. Because I'm going through it too. We are all going through this moment of like, wow, is it time to be abundant? Is that okay? And what I will say is, as you really start to tap into the idea that you are loved, that we are here to be supported, that does not mean we don't face challenges. That doesn't mean everything's perfect. That doesn't mean everything is easy. It means you are loved and you are supported. And if you can really start to sink into that mindset as a business owner, what happens is you start to learn to trust, and not just trust like the powers that be, right? It's like a genuine, like, I don't need to buy those jeans right now. I'd love to have them. If that's possible, that would be great. If not, it's okay, right? So there's a desire that is talked about. There's a want. There's an urge from you that is shared honestly. but there is no attachment. I would have been fine without the jeans. I mean, they're a pair of jeans, right? You'll be fine without the next client. It's one client, right? Like we don't have to be attached to these things. But what happens when you start living from complete commitment to your own greatness, complete commitment to your agreement with the universe, with God, with the divine, whatever that is for you? If you are living in complete alignment with that and you have desires, I'm going to assert they're going to get answered. They might not get answered in 20 minutes, might not be 10 days like my magical jeans. That's what they're officially called now, by the way. They're my magic jeans. I put them on. I'm like, ooh, the magic jeans, right? Like that can happen sometimes that way. And other times it takes longer. I've been in business for 18 years. This was not a one-hit wonder. This was not a This was not a get rich quick. This was a keep my agreement with the universe. My agreement with the universe is to help people see a deeper level of what's possible inside their business and their lives than they think there is. That's my job. So I show up every day and I do my job. This podcast, you're probably listening to it for free, right? Because this is my job. This is me keeping that agreement with the universe. And then I say, hey, make sure this gets taken care of in whatever way you see fit. And sometimes, 50% of the people listening to a podcast episode end up booking a call and they're like, I have to work with you. I felt your vibe. I knew who you were. I've got to be in your space. I know that when I'm around you, my revenue is going to increase. I know when I'm around you, not only will my strategy finally hit, but I'll actually enjoy executing on it. And I'm like, that's right. Get on in here, right? Because I'm keeping my agreement with the universe. I don't do this in order to do that. I do this because this is my job. This is what I know I'm here to do. And you know what you're here to do too. I'm going to really assert you know what you're here to do. And it can be that you're afraid to actually do it, right? Because we have this man-made construct called money that we have all agreed on is an incredibly important tool in our lives right now. Okay, we've agreed on that. We might agree on something else soon. Who knows? But right now we're looking at that and we're like, okay, so I'm here to do this job. The universe has given me these experiences, which I know if I teach from these experiences, I can change lives. I know if I teach from this expertise, something magical can happen. I know when I use these talents, people get moved. You know what those are for you. And it can be scary to say, okay, so maybe God, the universe, the divine gave me these things so I could make a living using them. Not so that I could give these away for free and hate my day job. Or not so I could follow the bro marketers out there who are doing scammy, disgusting things, feel like crap, and then try to maybe cram in the difference I want to make for other people. That doesn't feel good. That's not right. That's not how that goes, right? So what I really want to assert inside of your mindset shift from strategy to abundance and allowing, to stepping back into the truth of abundance, which is when we look in nature, is there enough? There is. Anywhere you look in nature, there's enough. Like, oh my gosh, right? It's not like the pink flower's going, yeah, but she's yellow. I'm not yellow. Like what? No, the pink flower is the pink flower. The yellow flower is the yellow flower. And it all works. There's enough. And no one's afraid to be who they are, right? Because they don't have this thing called an ego. And I don't mean ego like I'm so cool. I mean ego like this part of our brain that is constantly worried we're not going to fit in. This part of us that is constantly protecting us from anything that could damage us or hurt us or harm us or have us stick out. Okay. So we are up against that natural biological thing we have, right? It hasn't quite caught up to evolution. So we're a little bit more safe now. That way we can stick out a little bit and be okay. Even regardless of what social media says, you're going to be okay. What strangers think of you as they tweet or comment from their basement in their underwear is really not that important. What matters is you're keeping your agreement with the universe. And then stepping into the truth that if you are going to keep your agreement with the universe, if you're going to step into the talents, gifts, expertise, and experiences the universe has given you so that you can make a living, that you will be supported, that it will work. And we've seen this in the Abundance Academy time and time again. It happens every single time. Once somebody actually steps into their power, they actually step into the idea that like, oh, I am here to make donuts. I am here to make creams for people's hands and faces. I am here to talk about the Enneagram. I am here to talk about human design. I am here to be an astrologer, a psychic, a coach, a therapist, an author, a speaker. These are the gifts and talents that the universe gave me. I'm here to do these things. Look at this picture I just took. No one's captured this photograph the way I did. No one's made someone smile the way this makes people smile. That's the thing. That's the thing. And then you come work with me and I teach you how to package that and get it out in front of people. And if you're already making money on that, what's your next level? Is it exhausting? Are you tired? Do you feel you have to be a bro? Are you going into strategy again? Are you trying to do all the things and be everything for everyone? Or are you focused in on your agreement with the universe and you're taking your next step and you're scaling up from there? Those are all things we do inside the Abundance Academy. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about what we're seeing out there in the world. There are some patterns happening for business owners right now. Okay, there is a loneliness factor that is so harmful, right? It's like this, I'm shouting into the void, nobody can hear me, right? So it's so important that you surround yourself with people who are up to the same game. It's really critical, right? That you know who's in your corner. Here's why. This isn't like, oh, masterminds are nice. That's not it. Your life is made up of the day-to-day conversations that you have, the quality of those conversations. Are you acting like you're 5? He didn't listen to me, right? Then you have a 5-year-old life. Are you having the conversation, I can't afford it, I can't do it, I can't do it? That's going to make up your life. Are you having the conversation, listen, the universe gave me these gifts. I know they're here for a reason. I need to figure out how to package this better. That's a conversation. That's a conversation. What's the solution to this problem? What's the solution to this problem? Okay, that didn't work. Why? What happened? Getting curious, getting excited. That's a conversation. These lead to completely different lives, right? This is why who you surround yourself with matters so much. And you've got to have playmates in your sandbox who are working just as hard as you are. They're working towards making the world a better place. They're working towards challenging their own limiting beliefs. They're working towards stretching themselves beyond where they thought things were possible. And they're not burning out over launches. And they're not making more revenue, but hating their lives. No, right? One of my favorite shows, this is sad but true, is Succession. And I love watching that show. You hate everybody. There's no redeeming character, right? But what's so fascinating is 2 things that are fascinating. One, everybody's miserable even though they're rich. They're freaking miserable. They're in the most beautiful places in the world, hating everything, complaining about everything, right? So we know that wealth has a lot more to do with how we feel on the inside than the wealth that we're seeing on the outside. Because you can have wealth on the outside and be broke, right? Ugh. Might be an easier life, but it's still yucky. But the other thing I love about what's always going on is what's next? What's next? That didn't work. Okay, what's the other angle? What's the other thing? What's the other thing? What's next? Right? That energy can be contagious. Now, we always want that energy to have integrity. I'm not talking about doing it quite the way they do in that show, but the idea is that there is always that question. Okay, well, so that didn't go the way I thought. Why? And if you're surrounded by people who get that with you, right? By people who are like, oh, I see what happened. You know what? That happened to me once. Try this. It's a different level of conversation than, yeah, you know what? You should just go work at Starbucks. At least you'll get health benefits. Right? Those are different conversations to be having. Not that working at Starbucks and getting health benefits while you grow your business is a bad idea. I actually think it's an excellent idea. But saying that's it, it's over for you, that's all you can do, that's not the same conversation as use that as a stepping stool for what's next. Use that to learn. Use that as a way to practice serving. Use that as a way to become excellent at customer service. Like there's so much at that could be extraordinary, but it's not giving up. Right? And you've heard on this podcast before, and if you haven't, I'm going to tell you right now, businesses do not fail. Businesses don't fail. They quit. There's a big difference. I'll say it again. Businesses don't fail. They quit. And so you want to be around people who understand that that temptation will always be there. And you don't have to listen to it if you don't want to. So what happens when you have that community around you, right, is you go from isolation into understanding. And that shift alone as humans is one of the most important things, right? One of the questions we're constantly asking as we're alive is, do you see me? We're constantly asking that question. You can watch that in little children. You can watch it in adults. Do you see me? Like, when does somebody lose their temper? Oh my God, did you even see me? Right? That energy, we must know that we're seen. And without the answer to, do you see me, being yes, without that answer being yes, it is very hard to grow your business. It is very hard to create magnetic sales. It's very hard to drop the hustle and step into receiving, to step into allowing. It's a different muscle. And if you're not in a community where that's the norm, and instead you get caught up in society's hustle, 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 like they do in Succession, right? Like that constant hustle, you're going to get distracted by that, and you're not going to stay in the truth of, wait a minute, the universe has me on this because I'm doing what I'm here to do. So I know I'm going to be taken care of. And you need the strategy, right? I always have a coach, right? You need a business coach in there saying, okay, but what's the container for this? What does the packaging of this look like? So somebody who needs it can go, oh, I see that for me. That's what I want. And that's what I mean by magnetic sales. And we've had people inside the Abundance Academy who have 7x'd their revenue year over year. 7. They didn't double it. They didn't triple it. They didn't quadruple it. We are talking 7 times. That's a lot. How is that possible? Because the mindset shifts. Because the energy with which you sell changes. Because you change. Because you drop the idea that it has to be done a certain way and you start doing it the way that it feels great to you. Because 90% of sales is your energy. 10% is what you're selling, absolutely, and whether or not that person needs it. The rest of it is like, I have to have this. Like, look at this person. I want what that is. That's energy. And that cannot be addressed if you're hiding from your own beliefs, if you are exhausted from hustle, if you feel invisible, if you are constantly throwing your hands up and going, oh my God, what's next? I don't know what to do. If you're doing those things, it makes it very, very difficult for you to get into that energy space of just giving, of being so excited, of knowing exactly what your person needs to hear to know that they're safe to take the next step. These are the things that we do inside the Abundance Academy. And please know, this is not just about income. Yes, that's important. We've talked about that, right? For our own safety, for the way that the world is designed right now. But it's not just about income. It's about you coming home to who you are and the ripple effects that has in your business, the ripple effects that has in your community, whether it's the Abundance Academy community, your community around your house, your family, your clients and customers. Everything is affected by your ability to come home to yourself. So if you've been in business for a little while, if what you've started to present isn't working exactly the way you want it, if you're not sure if your packages are on point, if you're not sure what the best next step is, I want you to know the Abundance Academy is here. We are here for you. This is one of the most beautiful, beautiful communities I have ever seen. And it's because the support is real. The heart is real. The mindset blocks are removed. They dissolve. And not just in a one-time conversation, but in an experience that happens over time as you change. And sometimes it's fast. We've had people triple revenue in a month. We've had other people do 7 times over a year, right? But it always happens. It always happens. It happens because we work on you. There will be strategy. There's always a way in, right? There's always a way in to speak better, to share better, to tap into your heart more. But it's very challenging to do that in the face of what you don't even know that you don't know about yourself. Inside the Abundance Academy, we get to those little nuggets that are blocking you, we remove them. And then you start to go, you start to shine. Because this is about community. True abundance is a collective movement. And that's what we in the Abundance Academy are up to. So if any of this has resonated for you, if you're like, oh no, this is what I've needed. I've needed a community. I need a strategic coach by my side. I need to understand what's holding me back. And I need to start shifting my energy. I don't care what's happening in the world. I'm here for a reason. I have something to share. I created this business, not just to make money. Yes, to make money because this is my livelihood, but for you to know you created this because it's what you're here to do. That level of truth and commitment and clarity is so magnetic. And until we get you into that spot, you might find yourself hustling. You might find yourself burned out, and you might find yourself not hitting the revenue goals you know you deserve. So if any of this has resonated with you, if you know you're ready, I want you to click the link below to book a 15-minute call with me. And come and join us. And if you already know you want to get your buns inside the Abundance Academy, which I completely understand. Sometimes you just know that, right? You just know right away this is your thing. So if that's the case, there is also a link underneath this video if you're watching in YouTube or in the show notes if you're listening in to apply now. And then you can join us the second you decide to say yes. I'll catch you in the next episode.